Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another recording of Contrast. Let us continue. We spent a lot of time last recording trying to figure out this puzzle, and it's trickiness, trying to trick me. Alright, so I've got to get this lamp here. Come on, interact with it. I've got to get it so that I can get the cube in there. And I don't think I can. So I guess what we should do is just try this as it stands. But we need this opened up badly. So I thought the solution was here, but that puts the box in the wrong place. If I take this and then put it there, and then I take this and shift in and put it down, then shift out, and then I take this LT to focus, left trigger to focus. Oh wow, no wonder I couldn't figure this out. Has this been available to us as an option the whole time? I swear if it has, I'm very frustrated with myself. We've been able to focus the spotlights. I feel dumb. Real dumb. Alright. So obviously if you can focus the spotlight, that solves the problem right there. Even makes that easier. Come on, step away. Why can I not be next to the thing that I want to interact with to get the interact button? Alright. So shift, drop, shift out. Okay, so this is real easy. I just gotta quickly smooth that out. Oh, good. At least the box didn't reset completely. Shift, drop, shift out. We have one more collectible to find in this game. I imagine this is going to be the very last puzzle. As soon as this turns, I want to shift it through. There we go. We'll stop interacting with that for a moment so we can jump up here and grab the cube. There we go. Checkpoint. Nothing wrong with the checkpoint. So this is the probably most complicated puzzle. Yeah, it's gotta be. It's just kind of more of the same, all combined, which is the right way to do your final puzzle, is to combine everything you've learned before. But as you just saw, I never learned you could focus the spotlight, so if that was part of the game before this puzzle, I never knew it. Yep. That took a little too long for me to die. I fell through the roof. But let's see. That is a bit tricky there. Having to so this is gonna be a jump dash, then a jump up here, and then a dash, and then we can just get out. Easy enough. We're almost to the top of this crazy lighthouse.
Are you coming home?
So I guess we didn't need her in the picture. I hope there's a collectible or something for doing this. This obviously isn't the right way. Nope, no collectible, nothing. Darn it. So we'll jump and jump. Nope. We'll jump and die is what we'll do. Let's try that again. Here we go. Why would the shadow world...
After a few days, the princess got to wondering.
Why our dad kept trying to give her away?
The thought that this is a real world, though, still just kind of doesn't fly for the fact that this is so related to her. Unless she is making the shadow world. Oops. I made it anyways.
You think you're gonna jitterbug your way back into our lives with a lot of sweet talk.
As the past cannot change.
It wouldn't let me shift in there. It's not letting me shift. I had to kind of jump into it.
How can I believe you, Johnny? Your lips are moving.
This is a better system here where they just kind of freeze.
Need my family.
Instead of the one before where they were actively still moving throughout the whole conversation.
Maybe I need my family to make good.
So what is making the lights though? Nothing. Nothing has been making the light for quite a while here. Just jump for real. I wish there was more actual platforming like this in this game. There wasn't enough of it.
You're not even a real father.
Balloons.
I missed you too, honey.
Now I can't jump into this one. So you can't get on the shadows if the floor is made of shadows. What is this? Just garbage. And cats. and eviction notices. So am I gonna get the last collectible or not? I wonder. Let's see. Get the light onto the stage. Seems like we could shine the light on practically anything in this world. This is kind of a cool idea if I could zoom in and see the whole world as it was laid out. That might have been interesting. But since I can't. Meet Didi back at the stage. So I imagine this is it. Unless they have something else for us to do.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Vincenzo's Theater of the Unreal.
I got the lights on.
We'll talk about this after.
Ladies and gentlemen, a physicist named Albert Einstein tells us that our universe may not be the only one. There may be infinite others, each slightly different from ours. What are dreams in our world may be reality in those. To citizens of these other worlds, we are shadows. This appears to you to be an ordinary box, but it is actually what we call a tesseract, or an octocoron. Suppose I open it, not in the 3 dimensions we live in, but along its 4th dimension. I can take out surprising things, things that are familiar and yet strange. But in this world of shadows, what seems familiar may be dangerous. What you don't know can hurt you. But what frightens you can also turn into something of surpassing beauty if you only understand it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Follow Didi backstage. So there is a possibility that Dawn is actually the sister of Didi, half sister, or I don't think she's the mother, but she might be the half sister, or she might not be related at all.
What are you up to, Jordan? You're up to something, aren't you?
I tried, Kat. I really tried. Mom was right. I made a lot of promises I couldn't keep.
What is with you?
Without you, I'd be in the river.
But it worked out, Daddy.
I nearly got you hurt, kiddo.
You would have saved me if I needed it.
Notice the world just got brighter. It's been in shadow the whole time before. Maybe it's just this area, but we're seeing a sun.
Enjoy the show?
I want you to meet the little girl who turned the lights back on.
You made the lighthouse work?
I fixed the puppet show, too. And the pirate ship.
You fixed the pirate ship?
It was only a little broken.
See? She's almost as smart as you. Of course, she's brave, too.
What's that supposed to mean?
That you're rich, famous, and afraid of a little girl.
What would you have me do, Mr. Fenris? take her on my world tour, take her to Shanghai and Istanbul and those other filthy and dangerous cities as some sort of apprentice? Is that what you came here to propose?
Daddy, no!
I don't know, just Didi deserves better. They both deserve better. They need you.
I think they need you.
Me? I'm a walking calamity.
No, Daddy, we
You
need
risked
you.
your life to be with them.
Johnny, what did you do?
He nearly got himself killed to get you back. I wouldn't do that for anybody.
But I'm just gonna keep screwing up.
I can help you fix things.
Would you take me back? For good?
Oh, Johnny.
Yay!
Would you like to see my workshop? Again?
Yeah,
I bet you get to Shanghai on your own steam.
but how?
Well, you'll figure something out. After all, you are my daughter.
How'd you do that? I thought only Dawn could do that.
It's been a long time, hasn't it? Thanks for taking care of Didi.
Okay, so let's see how many creators we have. Let's see, creative direction, level design, 2 people, programming, 2 people, visual designer, 1 person. Whitney Clayton and the animator both need to be given a bigger budget and make a bigger game. Story was written by 1 person. Lead composers, pretty good, I'll give them that. Additional programming, 3 more people. Additional design, 1 more person. Additional art, a considerable amount of people. Additional animation, a considerable amount of people. So, what we're seeing here is definitely the fact that this was a tiny game made by a small team. And I definitely felt it. I love the art. I love the general concept. I think there could be a contrast too if it was 3 to 4 times longer. There's not a real reason to play this again. I'll use the chapters, which it is a credit to them that they actually put chapters in the menu, but you kind of had to, the way this game closed doors behind you after you did something. If it was more open world, that would have been nice. This world was definitely big enough, small enough that you could have done open world easily. It was funded by a Canadian fund, which that's nothing really. Some video games do get funded from strange things like that. So it won't be too much work for me offline to go back and get all the collectibles. I don't see a real reason though that I would continue recording this series. We got every single collectible except for 1, and we missed on Luminaries. This is, I guess I'm gonna have to give this one a B if I gave letter grades, which I guess I sometimes do, because a B, maybe B minus even. It's a fine game. It's just too short. It's not polished. It's not consistent about what its gameplay mechanic is. Is it a puzzler? Is it a platformer? Why were we using moving balls around sometimes and squares around sometimes? We didn't move the squares, the boxes around enough for that to be a main mechanic. We didn't move the balls around enough for that to be a main mechanic. Different puzzles, things reacted differently. We were at the very last puzzle and we found out we could focus the spotlights, and that's crazy. We used the umbrella for exactly 1 minute in the puppet show. The puppet show particularly went on really long, and it felt like that was probably the first thing they ever made, and then they built out for this. If they got rid of the shadow ability, or just didn't focus on it much and just had a platforming game like Mario 64 or any other platforming game that's in 3D, there could have been a lot more to this. There could have been a lot more luminaries to collect if there was a real reason to. I liked the character of Didi. There is a question, however, about whether she's dead or she's stuck in the other world, or maybe she was never stuck in the ghost world and she can actually go back at any time she wanted and just hadn't chose to because she was taking care of the little girl. I think following around the little girl was probably not the best things. It wasn't great that within the first episode we saw bugs with the animation of the little girl. That shouldn't have happened. That is just terrible, really. That's starting on the wrong foot to show a bug within 5 minutes of me starting the game, and I'm sure that probably doesn't happen for everybody, but if it happens for anybody, that's too bad. I wish this was a more built out area. This could have been just France. But there could have been the Eiffel Tower. And if they had more of a team and more ambition, that's exactly what it should have been. Climbing up the Eiffel Tower using shadows would have been a great capstone to this, instead of climbing up a lighthouse, which doesn't make any sense. We could have gone up the Eiffel Tower, we could have gone up the Arc de Triomphe. I'm sure there's plenty of other plazas I can't remember in France. So it's just too small. I'm left wanting a lot more polish, a lot more level, a lot more game. But it is a game worth playing. If you get it cheaply, you've seen the whole series now, you know how long it is. I would say definitely play it for the story, play it for the art, play it for the music. The music was good, although there really was just this main song. Now, when you get into was this really noir, most people would probably say no, just because it wasn't made in the right decade. But I'd also say no because it is doing a much darker story than I think they would have done, in a darker way than they would have done. And certainly once you start getting into the shadow world and the metaphysical stuff that just came fast and furious at the end, that throws it far from the realm of noir and into the realm of science fiction. I wish we hadn't found any collectibles or images of me, because we knew what the twist was at the end far too early. If we had just at that very last second had Vincenzo address and pull me back to the real world, that would have been great. But we already kind of knew he had done something. We're not still certain whether that I am supposed to be the half-sister, or maybe I was just the assistant of him. And it almost gets down to the question of maybe I was just the assistant and he sent me the whole game to protect her, which that doesn't make a lot of sense. Anyways, well, because this game was so short, there's really not a lot more that we can say. Okay, so I'm gonna just have to wrap this one up a little early. There's no reason to play it. Oh wait, look, there is one thing we can do. Let's change the audio. I did say I had the thought of playing it in French with English audio. Let's see what that change requires a restart. Let's see if that's true. No. Chapter, we'll just start here and see if that works. Chargement, I guess that means loading. So if I click here and we start this,
It's time for bed, Didi. Go hop in bed. I'll be right in to tuck you in.
Good night, Daddy. What are you doing here? My mommy's coming. You better hide, or she's gonna catch you.
Okay, sweetie. Night, night. What are you looking at?
I don't think she can see you.
Now promise me you'll be a good girl while I'm out singing.
I promise.
No sneaking out this time. I'll get in trouble.
I promise.
That's my good girl.
Mommy, is Daddy ever coming back?
I don't know, honey. Maybe someday when he's ready. But don't you worry. Mommy always comes back. I'll be home before you even wake up. Get some nice sleep.
Okay,
so yeah. That's exactly the opposite of what I wanted. And no, it doesn't require a reset. So what I wanted was it to be the audio in French and the text in English. Let's see if I just change it to French here. And then let's see. We return to the main menu. It's quite hard to work your way through French, but let's try that scene again now with just straight French. I would have to play the whole game with French prompts, but it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I think this would set the mood better.
Bonne nuit, papa. Qu'est-ce que tu fais ici? Maman arrive. Cache-toi, ou elle va t'attraper.
Bonne nuit, ma chérie. Qu'est-ce que tu regardes?
Je crois qu'elle ne peut pas te voir.
Promets-moi que tu seras sage pendant que je serai partie chanter.
C'est promis.
Et pas de sortie en douce cette fois, tu vas finir par m'attirer des ennuis.
Juré.
Très bien, tu es gentille, Didi.
Maman? Est-ce que papa va revenir un jour?
Je ne sais pas, ma chérie. Peut-être un jour quand il sera prêt. Mais ne t'en fais pas, tu sais que maman revient toujours. Je serai rentrée bien avant que tu te réveilles. Dors bien.
Ok, elle est partie. Elle va chanter au Ghost Nest ce soir. C'est le plus beau des cabarets.
So that's what I would want, and it is almost a crying shame that we can't play with the French audio and English subtitles. That is just terrible, I have to say. I wish that was an option. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, as we look here, it would have been nice if they had ever shown us what the other characters look like. We did not really get a picture of anybody except for the arm of Vengeance and the little girl. Let's see. So yeah, and then we have that one collectible that's missing. So it would have been nice if there was an actual like 3D model. They obviously had to do one at some point. They didn't just make a shadow. Well, maybe they did just make a shadow, but it would have been nice if they hadn't. It would have been nice if we could have seen the whole family at some point. If they were going to make a contrast too, they could have us enter the shadow world and then enter the real world, and then we could see all those people, and then the worlds, there could be twice as much level design easily made because you'd only have to change a few things. We didn't really get an explanation of why the shadow world is the way it is, other than the game needed it to have the floor be falling out into a void in multiple places. I kind of wish that had been not. See, because there's two potential twists here. There's the fact that this isn't the real world, which didn't go anywhere or get used for anything. And then there's the fact that Vengeance can go into the shadow world and see Dawn, which really is left kind of open-ended too. I would definitely like to see a contrast too. I would like to see them actually patch French with English subtitles. That would very much set the mood for this game. If you're going to play with characters, my own personal opinion, if characters are in a city that looks very much like France, or a country that very much looks like France, because France is a country, not a city, then they should be speaking French, as long as it's in a time frame when people were speaking French in France. Same is true if you're making a game set in the United States in 2015, then your options of the people speaking is they will either speak English or Spanish, or maybe, well, it's mostly English and Spanish. If you're on the Canadian border, you might have some that speak some French-Canadian stuff, but mostly it's going to be either English or Spanish. And it's the same thing if you make a game in 2015 in China, that people should be speaking Chinese. It's just to set the mood and to be realistic. And I have no problem with subtitles, and I do have a problem when it's absolutely being missed. Yeah, I'm left wanting more. I wish there was more here. Oh well. So, unless today is Friday, which I don't know, I record episodes in advance. Tomorrow we'll start a new series. There's nothing more that we can say. There's nothing more we can do. This is overall a good game. It's something worth buying, something worth owning, but it's not something worth playing more than once, and it's so short. So, yes, come back tomorrow for our next series. And as always, once again, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. That gets you to my main YouTube page. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. Also on my main YouTube page, you don't have to wait till tomorrow or Monday if it's Friday. You can click on my playlist tab and you can see all the other games I'm covering or have covered. Most of those playlists are completely done. I've covered the entire game at this point. And then I ask you to friend and follow me on all those social media sites that I'm on. There's a bunch of links down below. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, Google+. You can friend me on Steam. You can friend me on battle.net. All of those things are available. Thank you for going through this journey with me. It was a fun time, although frustrating in some points. For as short as this game, it was frustrating in too many points, but I'll stop criticizing it now. You've seen it. You've seen how good it is. It's pretty good, but not great. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.